going on the air because they care.
Spring storms can unfortunately lead to power outages. While LES line workers go out in the storm, you can stay in, but you can also help by reporting your outage right away online at les.com/report.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's All Things Youth Football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio in the heart of Lincoln, America. Youth Football 101. Get a peek into the world of youth football in the state of Nebraska with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves 7-on-7 Youth Football. This is Youth Football 101. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? Hey, listen, out there, we're back in the studio again. We started this a year ago, almost to the date.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Nick, right, Heavy. So just want to give you heads up who's here with us today. Same folks who was with us last year. We've got the president of LYF, Jim Sandman, is here. We've got the secretary, Craig Heavy Price. He's here. You've got Nick Siefer here from 93.7, the man.
What's up, guys?
Good. So, hey, listen. So this is All Things Youth Football 1-on-1, where we have been talking about and dissecting the football community in Lincoln. And I got to tell you, as we're going to talk about this season on the show, you know, it has gone gangbusters with a ton of stuff in the market happening. People's training kids, getting ready for the high schools. And so you see this real strong uptick. Few leagues, groups that are now playing in the Omaha League, LYF getting more kids. So this thing is starting to really blow up, and we're going to talk about it, recap on next year. So why don't we talk about how last year finished? Let's zoom forward, because you guys were out there like all 8 weeks, right, Nick? In the wind, in the weather. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
First off, thanks to you guys for letting us out there every single weekend, because you guys made my job easy. You had the tent set up, you had the table set up. I mean, it was simple. All I had to do was go and plug a couple of things in, and we were rocking and rolling. But ultimately, I mean, it was great. Like I think we've talked about this ad nauseum, guys, of that the perception of youth football and just youth sports in general, I think sometimes gets clouded and just gets an overall bad reputation.
Yeah.
But ultimately for you guys, like my eyes were open last year being there in person with, number one, how it's run, number two, the support and the just, I guess, support system that is overall in youth sports and youth football specifically out at the fields. But then the talent. Like the talent was really impressive from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And then ultimately I got, to see it in the championship games too. So I mean, it was a great time out there last year.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And what's really interesting is like, I don't think that us starting the show necessarily last year made everything great and better immediately, but I think it had some impact, right? I think it got some people thinking, if they got the pot actually being stirred. In the past, it's just been people armchair quarterbacking what's going on. But some people have really rolled up their sleeves and said, I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And we really like that. Jim, what do you think in the recap of the season last year was?
Wow, the season in general was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
Yeah,
We had great weather except for week one.
Yeah,
right?
just week one.
Week one was hot.
It was hot.
Right? We got 2 games in and then everything got shut down, which is fine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The good thing about the board we have and the coaches we have is everybody's willing to pivot, right?
Yep.
We had that meeting that morning, and within 15 minutes, we had the rest of the season planned out,
Yeah.
right? So it's just roll right through it. What I like, right, and we always joke about this, is off season we're all together, right? In season we may not talk very often, right?
Yeah.
Because we're
competing.
we're with these kids and
Yeah.
we're competing, but we work together.
Yes.
And man, through the season, through the off season, we've been busy.
We were busy.
But it was great, even the weather, we went a week later than we usually do, but the weather still held. Championship games went great. We had Manzito 1-2. You won on it. Congratulations, by the way, winning the C championship this year for Neiman.
That's really interesting because just that piece, like a little segue, you actually called that at the very beginning of the season.
I did.
That don't be surprised. Remember that show we had
I do.
to look for Neiman's and Sons, and sure enough, we end up with a 6th grade team that wins all city, that is undefeated, and that was really, really nice. But that just kind of goes to show what we're doing, and that on any given day, why you play the game of football as a whole, which is really awesome. So, and now look, before we go to heavy, is anybody not going to talk about the elephant in the room? That small guy right here that's lost like 90 pounds. Nobody want to talk about the little guy. I'm sitting next to Heavy. He used to be bigger than him. And now it's it. So yeah, a lot of work there.
We're proud of you, man.
Thank you, man. It was a lot of work, and I'm going to still stay with it. But health is important out there, and I encourage everybody to eat right, work out, take care of themselves best they can. Heavy, what do you think about the recap of last year?
Well, my Police Sandhills B team fell short at Seacrest,
Okay.
2nd year in the row.
Okay.
So we're looking at hopefully those kids have grown up.
Okay.
A lot of those kids were pretty small.
Okay.
Just hadn't really grown up a whole lot and matured, and hopefully we get the team back. Well, they're coming back.
They're coming back. Yeah.
Matured up a little bit and see what we can chip up there. I got a couple of young teams coming up. Definitely rebuilding a few teams with some new coaches. It was my first year as full-time AD for Police Sandhills football, so I was learning a lot.
Yeah.
Learned a lot in the last year working with you guys and see what happens behind the scenes. But again, I can't echo it enough. I mean, we work great together.
We do.
We have our disagreements. We hug it out, and we're all good. So.
We don't have any disagreements, do we, Jim? We never do.
That's part of like the important piece of it, though, is that there's going to be this friction, and I don't want to use the word bickering, but there's going to be these differing arguments and opinions. But ultimately, through the communication, which as I've kind of been on the outside looking in, but somewhat involved and texting back and forth with you guys and things like that, is you guys do communicate really well, and that you guys do figure out, okay, Tank doesn't agree with this, that Jim wants to do, vice versa, with this, that, and the other, but we're going to figure out a way to, for the betterment of the league, improve.
Well,
right?
Because
you guys haven't, while I'm sure there's personal goals, right, for your organizations that you guys are involved with specifically, or the league, like the priority still stays the league overall, the youth football league overall.
No, I think you're right. And what's interesting, and then we'll segue to some other stuff. But what's interesting is like Heavy, Jim, and I, and Mike, who's not here, I count my steps during the weekends when we're at football, and I'm always over like 22,000 steps. Because we start, and Jim starts probably the earliest.
Yeah.
But we start about 8 o'clock. Jim usually there by 7:30, and then we don't leave until 6. So it's absolutely crazy. And it was a good season last year overall. So I'm gonna move forward and kind of change speed. So there's a lot of things happening.
You
Right?
could say that.
And I don't know that we have the radio time, so it might take 2 shows to get it out, but we want to make sure that everybody is aware in the community the really amazing things that are happening and how hard we're working behind the scenes as the executive board, how hard the board also is working to make it better. So, Jim, I have to give you the honors as the president. You want to kind of dive in the overview of some of it?
Which way do we want to go first? We've
Um,
had 2 big things happen this week. Should we go? I'll tell you what. Let's.
the second one first. Probably what you and I think.
Well,
it should go first.
what's the event that's happening
This? Yeah,
the soonest?
soonest.
Let's do that.
Let's do that
Okay.
one first.
So, those of you that follow Tank and I and Craig and the league on Facebook saw, gosh, what was that? 3 weeks ago now? 4 weeks ago?
4.
A month ago.
Yes.
Lincoln Youth Football partnered with the LPS
Yes.
Community Learning Centers. We decided as part of the USA Football program, because for those of you that don't know, let's backtrack just a little bit.
Yeah.
Lincoln Youth Football is the only gold certified LYF league, or excuse me, Youth Football League,
Yes.
pretty much in the Midwest. We know we're the only one in Nebraska, right? USA Football is the folks that we do our certification through.
Yes.
They have standards that are set all the way from starting with the smaller fields, starting with the non-contact stuff, all the way up through working the full fields, which we'll also need to talk about this season because we're working on it,
Yes.
right? Through our insurance, through making sure everybody's ready to go. And the final piece of that was making sure we include everybody. So while we have female players, right, playing tackle, which is great, we also started a flag football league, which is starting very soon for girls flag football.
Pretty awesome.
Actually, first games, practices start May 13th, right? First games start on the 27th. Through that, we worked with Kwame, who is the CLC. He actually called you and I and said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this camp. What do you guys want to do? And that's when we told him about us doing the league. Anyways, so now we had that camp. Originally had 70 high school girls signed up, right?
Wow.
Due to the beginning of spring sports and everything else, right? Had a lot of cancellations. So we had a lot of the girls that were playing soccer and playing track, got their events rescheduled. We ended up with 20 to 30 kids, right? It was a blast.
It was fun.
It was a great time watching kids just in the couple hours that had no idea what we were doing on the field, have some semblance of it by the time we were done, right?
Eager,
yes. Well, through the social media posts that we had, Corey Raymond, who is my assistant AD at Allo, works for the federal government here in town, and the news started getting out more and more about what we were doing. Through that, during the camp, we decided we were going to reschedule, right? So the camp, we are actually adding 3rd grade through 12th grade, okay? On April 27th at Beechner Field.
April 27th.
From 3 to 5 p.m. And the press release is out, so we're going to announce it, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mayor Larry Gaylord Baird
yes.
is actually coming down to our camp.
Mm-hmm.
Along with a couple of city council members. They're going to declare April 27th as Girls Flag Football Day in Lincoln, Nebraska.
What?
There will be a press conference. There will be a proclamation.
Mm-hmm.
I've even heard a couple of rumors of Sandra Washington, the city council member, bringing her tennis shoes and hopping in a couple of drills because
I've heard that.
she was excited that we're doing this. She said it was too bad that she didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
So she's going to hop in. It's going to be a great time.
Well, Kwame's going to need to upgrade his insurance, right? in case he blows an ankle, right?
And it's really fortunate. My 16-year-old daughter years ago was like, "Why isn't there girls flag? I want to play girls flag."
Sure,
we're finally getting to it.
Right?
It's just a great.
I've been talking to young girls that are out of school that played or enjoyed 7-on-7. That hey, come coach for this. We'll give you the things that you need. We have the basics. We just need the body.
You mentioned you guys are the one of the very few organizations that are gold certified. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
This might be a really generic question. Why is there not more? Like that's the real question. Like, what is holding back? Because not only are you guys wanting the best for the Lincoln and the surrounding areas, but it's why is there not more?
Well, the thing about it is that's a really tough question for us to answer. You have to search the heart and goals of every organization. But I can tell you,
and maybe
Jim
that's what's
can tell
needed,
you
right?
why we do it. So why don't we talk about why
Yes.
we do it?
Yeah.
We do it. Look, those that coach for me can attest, and you guys can attest too, because of what we've done in this last offseason, talking about how busy we are, right? I can be annoying when it's time to get down to work, right?
Oh, is that right?
Because you hear it too. Listen, guys, in order to do what we do and do it correctly, you have to put in the time.
Exactly.
Right. We have to put in the time. Mike Selvage has worked with USA Football for years, and what they've done for us with giving us the guidelines and setting up. I mean, their app alone can give you the drills, can give you everything you need. And it helps a lot to be able to have those of us that maybe, for instance, when I started with Tate 7 years ago, I knew the stuff that I ran, right, when I was younger coaching, but things have changed so much, right? But then it also goes into the way things are changing now, with not even just the drills, but the attitude with how we coach.
Yes.
We talked a lot last year about the transactional coaching
Yeah.
compared to transformative coaching.
Yeah.
It's all a piece.
Right.
But you have to put in the work, and USA Football gives us those guidelines for it.
No doubt
I mean,
about it.
they go through and break all the way down. They have an actual plan as to what age should be playing on what side of field, what size of field,
Football,
and all the way up.
Football size, yeah.
Listen, every one of you can attest when we saw, for instance, last year's C game,
Yes.
right? 6th graders playing on a full-size field,
Yep.
if they're not used to it, is quite interesting.
It's interesting.
And we can argue all the time and say, well, we have to play on a full-size field. Anybody can play on a full-size field if all you got to do is get to the edge.
Okay. And
So you have-
neutralize, right.
Yep.
Use the
So you
field
have the
advantage.
fastest people on a
Yeah.
turf field full size.
Yeah.
Great. If I
Right.
can run faster than you, I'm gone.
Now you got to play.
There's a reason why we use smaller fields to
No
start
doubt
with the
about it.
younger kids, because you actually have to learn to play.
Well, on that note, it's really interesting because I'll segue to 7-on-7. So when we have some really amazing 7-on-7 tournaments at the field, LYF field. What's interesting is all the coaches say the same thing, that they're really happy. I've only heard one coach complain about it. And unfortunately, he lost the championship.
Yeah, I know what coach that is.
But at the end of the day, all the coaches like the fact that the field is even in size to basically the composition of the kids that are supposed to be playing the game. So all of a sudden, the fastest kid doesn't get to get on the edge all the time, right? You have to play the ball. And I think you're watching this metamorphosis happening, right, for Lincoln football, that the coaches are beginning to understand that, because we have some amazing coaches. I mean, don't get it twisted. LYF is the most complex and legitimate organization in Lincoln as a whole, because of all the things that we jump through and the things we put our coaches through, the background checks, the certifications, so on and so forth, to make sure we're good for the kids. And it is important that our coaches continue to get better. I feel that is what's been happening the last 3 or 4 years. The coaches, I'm fascinated to hear some of the coaches talk.
Well, having the high school coaches from here in town,
they're starting to show up, right?
Yeah, they're showing up. They're helping.
Hey, a shout out to Lincoln Public School high school coaches just beginning to show up at our camps, beginning to show up at the things that we do, beginning to show up at the games. It's just absolutely incredible, and that's what this city needs. Prior to being here 20 years, I was in Texas, and the coaches were at every game and every field. So it's really amazing to see the coaches.
I think we're starting to see, excuse me, a shift in the high school coaches in Lincoln in general, right? Like, I think a lot of them, number one is there's a lot of newer head coaches that are here that have grown up more recently to where they understand what it takes to run a successful high school football program. There's certainly a part of that, right? To where it's like you understand that it's creating kind of an awareness and understanding of what the youth football scene looks like, and then transitioning that into your high school program. And then how can you help them play at the next level in college? Like, there is a process that goes beyond just the 4 years that you're actually coaching them in high school.
Sure.
And we're getting there. And that's what's really cool about it. I guess we could talk about that at the break. Got a break coming up, obviously.
Yeah, just a few minutes.
Talk about that. But yeah, so you're really starting to see the training and development of people. I know that the Grizzlies, I've heard that they're doing a lot of training, new program that's on right now. I know the Spartans are doing some individual training as well. We'll talk about my facility at the break that's sponsoring the show. Go ahead.
Let's correct those quick.
Go ahead.
Let's correct those
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
So the Junior Grizzlies
Yes.
and the Junior Spartans.
Yes.
No offense to those guys doing their
Sure,
thing.
sure.
They have every right to, right?
Okay.
However, they are not affiliated with the high schools in the city of Lincoln.
That's correct.
You can say,
For
even
our-
if the coaches
For
are,
argument's sake.
for argument's
Okay,
sake,
good.
you can say, well, anybody could change a name,
No,
right?
Yeah.
There are coaches from high schools that are involved,
Yes.
right? But
They're LYF coaches
they are.
and
They
LYF
are.
players.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But just because you have a name doesn't mean you're following the Lincoln Public Schools guidelines, which brings us to our next announcement.
Yes.
Did we talk about
So,
that?
okay. So that's okay. That's a really good point.
Mhm.
Powerful segue. We're not running from that. We're going to go back to that because I feel like there's more things to be said on that on both sides of the ball. Historian here, so you always look at both sides. But yeah, I think those are really positive points and powerful
sure.
points that you're making.
A whole bunch of respect
and
for
we
both of
should-
those
yeah,
programs.
and we
Let's
should
do
segue.
that
Yeah.
because everybody can do their own thing.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
you can claim all you want. Doesn't mean you're there.
We're going to segue back to that. And for argument's sake, so we clarify that because I know some people are going, what the heck just happened? But Jim's got a good point. We're going to come back and touch that back up again, whether it's this show or the next show. But yeah, let's go. Do we need to take a break?
Whenever you want.
So
Ted.
let's take a break, and then we're going to come back, and then Jim is going to give the second part of LPS's recap on last year's season and bring on new organizations and business and what we're doing. So super excited.
All right.
And
Very
hopefully
good.
Evie is still with us and he doesn't get a call.
Yeah, everybody in a certain part of Lincoln, make sure that you are being good
Yes.
for the next 40 minutes
Yes.
while Sergeant Price is sitting
Yes.
with us.
I'm running a traffic selector 11th and O right now. I can see the intersection.
And also shout out to the officers that are covering right now.
Yeah.
So you can be here with
I
us.
got a sergeant covering for me right now.
Yeah.
Doing Good thing.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Are you guys able to listen to the radio while on shift?
Yes.
Good. So hopefully they're listening. They're
Yeah.
tuning in.
Yeah.
I told dispatch
Good.
I'm going to be at 93.7.
93.7.
The ticket.
Let
from
me
11
know.
to noon.
Yeah, that's my stop.
I went out across the entire west side of the city on the radio.
That's awesome. Let's take a
All
break.
right, break.
Youth Football 101 continues after this.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hang on, this is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together, so close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a four-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Spring has arrived, the temperatures are rising, and it's time to get your equipment ready for the season. Landmark Implement has high-quality used John Deere planters, sprayers, and tractors, priced to move and ready to work for you. Take advantage of unbeatable deals and flexible financing to upgrade your operation without stretching your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or browse our full inventory online at landmarkimp.com. Before these deals are done, experience the Landmark difference.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay, fine. I'll start. Distracted driving. Who does it?
Ew.
Bro.
Could you not?
Okay, Dad. So what I'm hearing is no one ever drives distracted.
I mean, barely.
Thinking maps. More than 14% of all fatal and injury crashes are caused by distracted drivers. This is distracted driving for real. Let's start driving for real. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Thanks for letting me stay over while my apartment's getting painted.
No problem. Oh, bagels are done.
Is it supposed to rain today?
Let's find out.
Hey, an entire video screen just came out of your toaster.
There's a 70% chance of rain today. More things should be built in, like the multiplier in Mega Millions from your Nebraska Lottery. It's one of the new enhancements to the game, along with bigger jackpots and better odds.
Should I wear the blue or the green blouse?
Blue. It matches your eyes.
$5 Mega Millions top prize odds, 1 in 290 million.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
And electrical.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utilities direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Back to Youth Football 101 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Okay, we're back, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so after the fireworks, we had a lot of fun. Hey, listen, we want to talk about Sauter Heyman handling the text line. The number that you can call into is...
Yeah, it's 402-464-5685. That's our Sauter Heyman text line.
All right, good. And then Edward Stone, we want to thank him for the support that he throws our way. And then obviously the Character Chronicles. We want to appreciate Adam, all he does as well for Lincoln Youth Football and the direction that we're going as a whole. So let's kind of get back, and we're going to segue. I think this is a really important part of the show, so everybody kind of get their listening ears on. Feel free to text in.
402-464-5685.
There we go, because this is going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot of questions that come about.
Putting Jackson on the spot.
Yeah, Jackson. Thank you. You did good. But we're gonna touch the surface of it because everybody in Lincoln does need to know. It's already chatter behind it, but you're gonna hear from the horse's mouth because the executive board is here. We happen to have one of the coaches from the high school that can give his perspective on how it affects him as well. So, Jim, let's crank this out, man.
Crank it up. Okay. Big announcement, like we said.
Huge.
First of all, we'd like to take the time to thank Stonebrook Exteriors.
Stonebrook?
Right? Stonebrook has been a sponsor for a long time. They're still supporting our program.
Absolutely.
So thank you to them, right?
Thank you.
Okay. In the off season, the Junior Bolts were formed. Sandhills Publishing is sponsoring not only police, but now they're sponsoring the Junior Bolts. For years, high school coaches have been asking how we get closer affiliated from Lincoln Youth Football
Right.
to the high schools.
Absolutely.
Okay. Lincoln Youth Football is a gorilla, right? Trying not only to get all of us to agree to the same thing, but trying to get everything to go in the right direction is a chore, but we're willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
Right. The biggest question when we always had when we started talking about keeping our neighborhood teams, right, but also being able to affiliate with the Lincoln high schools, was what do we do with the Catholic school kids?
Yeah.
Right.
How's that work?
So the Junior Bolts came in. The deal with the Junior Bolts is if you go to a Catholic school in the city of Lincoln, right, you have to be in attendance, then you have the chance to play for the Junior Bolts. That doesn't mean that you have to.
It's an option.
But it's an option,
Absolutely.
right? Which is a great
It's a
option.
good option, yeah.
Yeah. What that allowed us to do once Stonebrook decided to essentially take a step back, right? We had one too many teams.
Right.
So what we were able to do is Stonebrook decided, take a break, step back. And we were able to merge Greens Furnace and Plumbing with the Stonebrook district.
Absolutely.
So now what we are able to do is every LYF team practices at a high school here in town, except for one, but we're working on that also. That team is aligned with the LPS attendance area for said high school.
And LPS being Lincoln Public.
Correct,
School
with
system.
Lincoln
Yep.
Public Schools.
Yep.
What that means is that following the guidelines that were set for us
Yes.
by Lincoln Public Schools, so everybody's, everything's equal, we are able to have more contact with these high school coaches.
Absolutely.
Right? We are able to work a little more. Do you want to call it feeder program? Doesn't matter, because if what we're doing is getting kids ready to come play for these coaches, then we can work on verbiage.
Yes.
We can work on different functions of their programs to be able to include everybody.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
And the biggest point about this is that we've always said is neighborhood-based programs, right?
Right.
Working with the neighborhood high school.
Yeah.
So it's super exciting. It's a great
No,
time.
it really is. The map lays out really well. We had to be creative toward the center of Lincoln as a whole, but the map lays out, and you're kind of getting the gist of it, right? As you're out there hearing that, and as you play this back for those who are subscribed. Yeah, so that overlay is super important. Obviously, we still have open borders, right? So kids can choose where they go. That's something that's been
For the high
for a
schools.
while for high schools where
Yeah.
they go. And however, that community and that connection that kids will have with a high school and being a high school field is going to be good. I know my program is practices at Lincoln Northwest. We started that last year when I took year before last when I took over and contacted Coach Locke, contacted Christina Nevitt as well to be able to be out there. And I can see the difference that's made with a lot of players that now are like, there's a few players that definitely already know where they want to go. So I think that's going to work hand in hand no matter where we are. And then obviously if they decide to go cross lines, obviously there's some guidelines that LPS has when they do that. So I think overall it's a good move. And keep in mind, even though we've overlaid this map, that it's a day-to-day thing for us to monitor as an executive board, that how the numbers stack up on the teams. And if we have to make, as our commissioner says, some small adjustments, we will. But right now, things are looking good as a whole. So that's the information. If you guys have any questions on that, you want to come through and text on the line.
Yeah, 402-464-5685.
Because we're here to be able to answer those questions, especially for the next 10 minutes of this segment. And then we'll move over to the last part of the segment as a whole.
Well, since we have Coach Lauk here,
yes,
you want to, I know we're putting you on the spot because you're here to talk about our next segment, but we saw you standing here and this is what happens with our show. You kind of just get grabbed.
Just grabbed.
Could you share your opinion about what these changes, what happens, when we're able to work closer with the high schools, when we're able to work closer with the staffs, what are your opinions on it?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on the
Yeah,
show.
I'm
I
glad
appreciate
you're
it.
here.
Thank you for letting me step in. I think this is a tremendous improvement and a step in the right direction in terms of alignment that I would like to see in terms of that development of the kids that we can then kind of keep an eye on as to, oh, that's the future of the program type of thing. Being a new high school in the city of Lincoln, it becomes really hard to compete right away and immediately. So seeing that step 1, step 2, step 3, being in year 3 now of our program, kind of getting things where I want to see it aligned, kind of see where Mr. Perry wants to get his program aligned, practicing in our facilities. I think it's a great move. I think it's important, seeing that I can kind of have an oversight and an overview as to what are they doing, what sort of plays would I like to see them running, that we're running, just full alignment, get to know coaches, get to know families, get to know kids. And I think it's just great all around to see a well-rounded development of a young man or a young woman coming through the city of Lincoln through football. I think that's tremendous.
Well, and in saying that, on the heels of that, there's an accolade to you too, because one of the things that you've done since we've practiced here for 2 years now, right? So this should be the third,
Yep.
is, you actually come out and shake players' hands and talk to parents after your practice. So you take that extra time after you've been there several hours during the course of the day. And then sometimes your players come out as well. And so that's probably happened at other schools too, but I think it's really good when the high school head coaches do that, because our connectivity to you guys is really zilch. So when we have that opportunity to spend that time with you, to see what's in the market, I think it's awesome. And then also, Coach, you come out to LIF. I mean, I think every Sunday you come out for a little while and watch a lot of the games that are happening. That's huge. So we need that, and other coaches are starting to come out too. I know Coach Thompson from North Star. I see him all the time come out there. Have great conversations with him as well. So we've got coaches that come out there. We want to see more, because this is the future, and we want their input to LYF, because this is kind of that junior high kind of system, the best we have for Lincoln right now.
Yeah, just to add to this is the fact that what's happening right now in the game of football is everybody wants something better now.
Right.
And everybody's hitting that what's called the transfer portal or NIL and all this and that. And somehow eventually it's going to trickle down to high school at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the development right now, the alignment that I talked about, that's huge, because then you can then start having communication, access, eyes on what your future's like. And then you can really put your hands in the dirt and go to work as to what do you want to build? What do you want to do? And if you're not willing to do that work, I guess, then you might see some kids look at some other options, because it is open enrollment. And for me, I want to be to control what I can control. And that's going to be the relationships, the building, the communication with the coaches, the families, the kids, and just to show that I love, care for them. And I want them to be the best football player, but ultimately the best person that they can be down the road. And so that's one thing I think that all of you guys do a great job of, is allowing us to be involved in any sort of camp, clinic, games, Sunday events that you guys put together. You guys are really working hard, and kudos to you guys to make that happen for us.
So we're going to run over it, and thank you, Coach. We're going to run over to Jim real quick, and then Heavy, we're going to get your take on this alignment as well. You always have a very interesting take on the way that you see things, and so I want everybody to hear that too. Jim?
Well, so Coach brought up a great point with having the high school coaches around. Let's talk about that piece, right? We started 2 years ago, doing a free league-wide camp.
Yes.
Right. It's 4 months every winter. We offer it for free. You come in and you get basic fundamental work, right? This year, having the high school coaches involved has been huge. And we always tell you guys, when you come in, you don't have to come in and coach. You can come in and watch.
Yep.
You can come in and suggest, or if you want to hop in, go for it. That brings up a good point, though. Our last one is tomorrow night.
Wow.
April 13th from 6:30 to 8
Yep.
at Nebraska Sting, which is 345 Speedway Circle, suite number 1.
Yep.
It's free to all, right? So anybody that wants to come and get work in, come on out. You'll see high school coaches. You may see some Husker players. You'll see a lot of our mugs.
And
our
focus is defense tomorrow.
That's right.
Tomorrow's defense.
That's always exciting for Heavy.
So well, you know what? Go ahead, Heavy.
What I like, and Coach Lauk and I, we've coached at North Star years ago, but the example is when we align with these high schools and we are building a network. We're opening, like you said, communication. We're building friendships. We're building professional relationships, and that smooths out for recruiting. It smooths out for where the head coach talks to the AD or the other coaches, especially like in the 7th, 8th grade teams, and they can start to mold and network. So those kids already say, hey, I'm going to go play for this guy, this coach, because he's here, he's supporting me. So by aligning, to me, it's about building relationships with the community.
Absolutely.
and we are trying to align to better build our relationships with those high schools.
Yeah, I think that you guys are absolutely right. I think that without belaboring the point, I think obviously there's some pros and cons to this restructure. However, ultimately, I think there's going to be more pros, right, than cons with this, because it just makes sense, right, for Lincoln. And I think that the number is going to go up astronomically. Right now, I think we need to take a break, because Commissioner's going to get mad when I give him a bill for my section, my segment, my next segment as well.
Well, we got to talk about your stuff too.
Yeah.
So we got to get that in.
Yeah, because he doesn't want that bill. He'll be like, why am I paying for both sides of the deal? I'll be like, hey, we talked through yours. So no, I'm joking. Yeah, we're going to go to break again, Jackson.
Yeah, we can go ahead and take
Is
a break.
that good? And then we'll come back, and then we'll take a few minutes and talk about the second half of the show. So everybody sit tight.
Yeah, more youth football 101 on the other side.
Yep.
You want to talk about it?
No.
Okay, fine. I'll start. Distracted driving. Who does it?
Ew.
Gross.
Could you not?
Okay, Dad. So what I'm hearing is no one ever drives distracted.
I mean, barely.
More than 14% of all fatal and injury crashes are caused by distracted drivers. This is distracted driving for real. Let's start driving for real. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes. And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Join Nebraska softball for another action-packed weekend on April 18th and 19th as they face Indiana at Bowlin Stadium. The top 25 ranked Huskers are hot and ready to show off their dominance in the Big Ten during this two-game series. Plus, Saturday is Kids Day. There will be family activities throughout the game and an egg hunt with the team after the final out. You won't want to miss this weekend at the ballpark, April 18th and 19th. For event and ticket information, head to huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red. Hey farmers, if you don't already, you need to get to know the guys at Boyk Farm Outfitters. If you're ready to turn your sprayer into a money-saving smart machine, they can hook you up. If you just want to get your chemicals from some good guys that care about your operations goals, they want to chat. They work with progressive growers all over eastern Nebraska to assist with equipment upgrades and input options. Boyk Farm Outfitters is equipping the modern farmer. Check them out at Boyk, B-O-E-C-K, farmoutfitters.com. Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse, and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to Youth Football 101 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And we're back. Hey, listen, we've got about 15 minutes. We're going to segue away from League Youth Football. We're going to stay with the theme of all things youth football 101, right? So there's been some new developments on the other side, right? And it just so happens we're all involved in that as well as the entire community. So in talking about helping to make football better, I opened up a actually indoor facility for Lincoln, Nebraska, 10,000 square feet. It's called Paramount Football Academy at this point anyway. And it's on 3200 North 23rd Street here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And man, that thing is going crazy because kids and parents, it's a nonprofit. And so people are wanting to get their kids training. So I have trainers that are just booked solid, helping kids to get better. The mission for that is not to overcharge people, to keep it affordable, but to help kids get ready, especially that 12 to 14. It's got a phenomenal weight set in there. And so kids are training already to work out. And this really helps the high school landscape because before you guys were getting a lot of kids, bulk of the kids that had never really understood football and had not been weight training.
Correct. Yeah, I think that they were coming to high schools very raw, very trusting on their genetics and their talent that they had received in the past. So I think having the opportunity to weight lift, understand the fundamentals of lifting, understand the fundamentals of training, whatever position, because you've actually had the ability of having several different position trainings for all positions, offense, defense, and even some special teams. You had some kicking nets. I see that you guys got there. So it's wide open for every opportunity, football related. And then the weight set is better than what I had in junior high. I tell you that. There's a lot of farm work for me. So I think that opportunity there is something that kids and families should reach out to you and take advantage of.
Well, for starters, I want to give a shout out to Neiman's and Sons, specifically Terry and Chris, who are really good friends of mine, who have supported everything that I've done in the last 5 years, especially after meeting Terry himself and becoming his athletic director. So definitely shout out to him. Shout out to the parents that put in their volunteer work to get this together. Shout out to all the guys and parents that came and helped me lay turf on that thing and move turf around manually. And that was a monster within itself.
That was a process.
So, if you want to see the facility, it's basically on Facebook, Robert Tank Perry. That's Paramount Football Academy. And you can see some of the work that we're doing. It's important everybody understands. For me, I always find a neutral space, right, Jim? Heavy. Yep. And this is for everybody. Like, this is not for any specific team. If you want your kid to get, despite what you may or may not hear, if you want your kid to get linebacker training, follow my deal into linebacker training. If you want to get O-line, D-line training, follow my deal. The coaches are usually coming from the community that have been doing a really good job on different positions. If you want receiver training, DB training, which is something that we specialize in, come there. If you want retraining and your kid is 12 to 14, you want to come there as well. Go ahead.
Just a plug for you.
Okay. I take plugs.
a few years ago, I heard a stat that 70% of incoming freshmen in LPS had never played football. And what we want, Paramount, LYF, we want to give those kids experience.
Absolutely.
And the difference between the players at high schools as freshmen
Yes.
that have never
Yes.
played
Yes.
and that have played is night and day. And the more kids we can get in youth football and training and go into these camps, and they're very affordable camps.
Very
Thanks
affordable.
doing a great job with that. But if we can make that number smaller and get more youth into football, clinics, camps, teams, it's going to improve Lincoln football, period.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, that's why I do it. I'm 100% invested, if you know me, in Lincoln and the youth. It's my ministry. And so it's really important that we get these kids going. I come from an environment where all kids play football starting at 4, whether you like it or not. They're playing by 4 or 5 years old. I come from Texas, but I've been here in Lincoln for 20 years. And so I'm invested, double alumni from the University of Nebraska and taught there as well. So my heart is in the community. I don't really have a dog in the hunt. It's just that how can we make football better? Instead of talking the talk, I decided to walk the walk a few years ago. And so this is where we are now. And the gentlemen around me absolutely support me as well. So we're going to talk about what's happening tonight. We've been doing this for 3 weeks already. We've been doing an O-line, D-line camp. We charge $35 for all 4 weeks, whether you came the second week, third week, or you decide to come tonight. And ultimately, it's a competition. So tonight is the competition.
Tonight's time to earn the trophy.
To earn the trophy. So even if you want to sign up on ParamountFootballAcademy.org or show up and we'll get you signed out, you can still compete. We're giving out for the year coming, 5th grade for 2026, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and then the high school is all one. So we're giving out 6 amazing trophies tonight. They're on the website as well. And so, yeah, you want to come up there and you want to have your big guys compete. What's been interesting is the first week, it was just a lot of kids. But by the second week, there were a lot more lineman type kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's some beef out there now. So big kids who have played and never played before, parents are intuitive enough to say, hey, let me check this out. So they're starting to come out there, and it's really good. Jim, you got something?
Well, I think we can all agree that at a lot of places, in high schools included, and everybody with 7v7 has, let's be honest. I have multiple tackles that are playing high school football right now that want to be tight ends, right? Because they play 7v7. I appreciate the fact that we're doing this for the linemen.
Yes.
Because you guys know what my opinion is on it, that without
you got to be in the trenches.
I said this the first night of training, didn't I?
Yeah.
Big skills.
Big skills.
Right? Because half of our guys say, oh, no, I'm just a lineman. No, because the skills can't do anything unless the big skills do the work.
You got to do the work up front.
So it's great that we're doing this. I'm excited for tonight because the improvement that I've seen over the last couple of weeks has been immense.
It has been.
Right?
Absolutely. Just
teaching. And it's great that different clubs here in LYF and outside of LYF can all come together and teach, the same thing. Because we had kids that were chicken winging when they started. We had kids, and we have everybody, moving forward using the hands. We should have the punch and rip down by the time we're done with tonight, shouldn't we, Coach?
Over and over
again. But that's what it takes.
Well, there's also this shout out to Justin White, who's also one of the greatest lineman coaches
Agreed.
in Lincoln area. Everybody knows that as well. And so he's really been, he was my mentor into LYF. And so, and the first person I coached for the first year. So, he and I have that special connection, but at the end of the day, he's always willing to help, just like the rest of us, to do what he can to make the kids better. And so it's really good to have him out. Obviously you heavy, and then Jim, when you said you can find time, was really good. So
yeah, it's a blast. It's a blast.
Well, it's much needed.
Yeah.
I agree. And this won't be the last one for the course of the year, but one thing we'll always do and find a way to do at Paramount is we want to give them something for these camps, right? So we want them to come to these camps and learn the skills and the fundamentals, but we want them to compete maybe the last 30 minutes or the last one and actually have an opportunity to earn some hardware from getting down and working hard. So look for tight end training, look for linebacker training. DB training right now is on Mondays, 6 to 8. Wide receiver training is Mondays, 6 to 8 as well. And so we're going to continue making these things work for Lincoln. And, here's the challenge, right? Because, I have the gift of discernment. And so for any of you coaches and men and women that are sitting down right now going, they're not the best coaches, I am. I challenge you to come on out there too, because I'm an open book. So if you're one of the great coaches and we didn't know about you, or, you have been mentioned, you have an opportunity to step into Paramount any given time and help us out to get these kids better. And that's what we're all about. I mean, we all really work together. Nobody's on paid staff. Everybody's volunteering. I guess even me, right? Still got bills to pay. But at the end of the day, we want you to come out. It doesn't matter what organization you're with. Doesn't matter what LYF team you're with. If you have the energy and wives that are listening, whose husbands are coaches, get them out. It is not locked down to just a few coaches. We need every coach in Lincoln to come out, learn your craft even better, and to help with these kids to get them better, because it's the off-season work. It's not the 2 months that we get with these kids during football season. We want coaches at the high school level. We want coaches at the LYF level getting these kids, and these kids have some semblance of understanding the game and the position they play versus they don't have a clue. And I think we're beginning to change that, turn that page slowly but surely. It's a heavy lift. So again, no matter who you are, if you are a good coach, you are welcome to come out. You're welcome to give me a call at 402-310-3589. My number's everywhere. And let me know what you want to do. We have tons of coaches that are doing that already. So join the party. If you're a strength and conditioning guy or gal and you want to help get these kids better in orientation, testing, and then letting them rip, come on out as well.
I just think on the high school level, it's been tremendous to see so much involvement with the coaches that have been showing up. You guys have been showing up. You've allowed to have open doors. So I've been promoting it with the kids that aren't in a sport right now. Obviously, we want them in high school sports and multiple sports. But if they're not doing anything, we want them training.
Come check it out.
And we can only do so much with so many kids so often in high school level. And so now we can give them to somebody else and give them an opportunity to get better. And I think the kids that have done it have seen a tremendous difference. And I do also think it's ignited a fire in them.
Look at
to wanna
Xander.
Continue to do
Look
it.
at Xander.
Yeah,
if you had
congrats to
seen Xander when he came to us 4 years ago, you would
Yeah.
not believe that he was offered and accepted Peru.
Yep.
Right. Which is an
100%.
up and coming program, right? Because Xander
blowing up.
Xander was not the athlete he is now, but now he's not only an athlete through his parents and their extra time, but now and through all the folks that have worked with him, but now that extra work that he's done on his own, he is a legitimate threat, and he's huge.
Dedication to the kids, to him, to those people that are wanting to put in the work to get after it. Lincoln's getting a lot better.
We're going to
it's a
continue.
testament to you, to all you youth coaches, and to the high school coaches that are willing to buy in and be about it.
It's just our time, I think. I think it's our time. I think when we first started talking about this and we got the clearance to do the station, we knew that there needed to be another mouthpiece to be able to get it out there. And now we're doing that, and I think that makes a difference. But remembering that I'm the baby on the block. You guys have been doing this in the trenches forever and ever, and Lincoln certainly appreciate you guys. I'm more of icing on the cake and trying to be a visionary, but it's your hard work, Jim, through the years that you guys have been really pounding the pavement and helping these kids. And you guys are amazing coaches and leaders in your programs. I guess we're about to head out shortly. We'll go with you, Coach, and then Jim, because you always have this great knowledge. We'll let you wrap this up.
What do you want?
We're wrapping it up. What do you got?
Come out.
I love it.
Recruit. Bring a friend. Come out to these clinics that we put on. Follow Lincoln Youth Football on social media. Recruit. And if you live in Northwest Lincoln, that's tanks in my areas.
Yep.
So we're always looking for more numbers.
Absolutely.
Just recruit. Come out. Just see what we're about.
Love it. Coach?
I was going to say, don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah. My favorite words.
Show up.
Show up.
Work hard. You don't have to be a football player to come out and learn the fundamentals of football. Even Nebraska's learning fundamentals of football still from the highest education level that I'm around to witness. So appreciate you guys having me on for sure.
You really touched on a point, because I've talked to so many guys that have played at the higher level, to include myself, for for basketball and rugby. But if we had this at a younger age to be able to do this, maybe our careers would have lasted longer at that next level. And I hear people say it all of the time. So now is the time to help these kids understand football. When they get to the next level, they can help the coaches see something different and be able to run more complex stuff. Jim?
Well, I don't know. You put the pressure on me saying the wisdom. Let's do it like this. Thank you. Thank you to all of our volunteers. Thank you to the high school coaches that are coming out and helping us. Thank you to the Huskers that show up all the time to help out. Thank you to our families. Thank you to the support you're giving us, allowing us to do this, because Lord knows that if I was married to anybody but Karen, I probably would have been divorced quite a few times already. So thank you. Thank you. Like Coach Price said, like Tank said, make sure we're coming out, right? Tell your friends. If you're having a great time, spread the word. If you're not, come talk to us so we can get things fixed.
Yep.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, and another thing for Paramount, if you don't have the money, still show up and we'll figure it out. I'll find a way to get it paid for you if legitimately your kid doesn't have the money. But there's no excuses for not getting these kids in Lincoln the skill sets that they need, so you're not on the sideline in high school upset that they're holding their pads and standing on the sideline, because it's about skill at that time. So even though they have 60, 70, 80, 90 kids out there, only 20, 22 of the kids actually have some level to be able to survive out there, and we want to improve that.
And Paramount is really easy to get to. 23rd and Cornhusker, just a little bit north behind the Quick Shop.
Yep.
Big Paramount sign on the wall. You can't miss it. So.
I'm still paying for that sign.
Well, you can find it.
I know, right? You can definitely
find your place if your sign wasn't there.
No, we appreciate it. We're good. Okay, well, we're going to take it out if nobody else has anything else. Hey, look for us to be here next week. We're going to recap again the season. Then we're going to use the second half of the hour, talk about the landscape of 707 and things that we're doing. Really busy out there. Nebraska is booming when it comes to 707 right now. We've been able to create such energy all over, some great tournaments. Shout out to my guy, Darren Peterson, who's putting on some amazing tournaments as well. Shout out to Robert Perry Jr., who's putting on amazing tournaments for Nebraska 7v7, who's the authority for developing teams and tournaments here in the state of Nebraska. So we just want to thank everybody for listening in. Get somebody listening with you next week. Subscribe, like what we're doing, make comments, let us know what we could do, things that you're interested in hearing about, and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.